Happy Rusev Day, everyone. It's an all-new episode of Aftermath here. Caroline Schved alongside former WWE referee Jimmy Corderas and former WWE superstar Anthony Corelli and Nuck. And not only is it Rusev Day, but it's Hat Day.
It's Hat Day here on Aftermath. We're all sporting our hats. I'm supporting the Raptors. You're supporting Japan.
Judo.
Oh, judo. Okay, great.
Yeah, this is actually the National Guard in the States, but
I think this says National Guard.
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
We'll never know. But
says
apparently
judo.
today's also
It says judo.
It says
it's
judo.
also Schved without hats day.
It is Shred Without
yeah,
Hats Day.
I was too Schveddy to wear a hat. Let's shake things up this Aftermath, no pun intended,
Nice.
with some wins and fails. My win isn't personally from the Superstar shakeup, but I'll start it off. Carmella cashing in on Charlotte I thought was amazing. I don't know if I was still riding the WrestleMania high, but I was like, when is Carmella going to do this? You know, is she even going to cash in her money? And when she did it on Charlotte, I thought this was amazing. I didn't expect it to happen to Charlotte because she just beat Asuka. She ruined Asuka's undefeated streak, so I thought that Charlotte would now be the woman to go after. And Carmella took her title, and I think it made a nice roar in the universe, and I'm excited to see what she does next. Hopefully she can, you know, now start going uphill with this.
Yeah, and you mentioned WrestleMania, and I like the fact that it didn't happen at WrestleMania because I don't think, for me personally, that was the right setting for that to happen. I like the fact that also it took essentially 3 women to beat down Charlotte because you had the debuting iconic duo helping out the matter. So it took more than one person to take her down. So I like the whole dynamic of it. And again, there were people expecting it at WrestleMania, which would have kind of killed some of the momentum. Happening on SmackDown sort of made it
less
surprise.
predictable. Yes, totally agree.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so many spotlights you can have in a particular scene. WrestleMania was their spotlight. It's a little weird for me when someone cashes in a Money in the Bank opportunity and celebrates like they did it. It's not really, you didn't really do it traditionally, but whatever. It's still obviously an accomplishment, and she did it.
What I liked was 2 weeks ago when she tried to cash in and it didn't go well, Charlotte kicked the Money in the Bank briefcase out of her hands, and Carmella beat Charlotte with a kick. It was very nice. Full circle Simba, as Jimmy likes to say.
Yeah, referee Mike Chioda, though, seemed to be the guy getting the hatred from the audience.
Cash it in. What? Cash it in. I don't understand.
To be honest, if I had Carmella yelling at me like that, cash it in, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to take my time too.
Well, you have to excuse Mike. He is from Jersey.
Oh, well. Okay, I understand.
Jimmy, moving on to your fail, you're happy to see a possible Miz and Daniel Bryan matchup from the Superstar shakeup.
Yeah, that's definitely my win because this was an unfinished story that started on SmackDown that looked like it wasn't going to get a resolution because Daniel Bryan at the time was not cleared and not able to compete in the ring. So for me, it was like, why are these two getting in each other's faces when they can't settle their differences in the ring? Didn't make sense. Miz moved to Raw, and I thought, okay, this ain't never going to happen. Now Daniel Bryan is cleared. Miz is back on SmackDown. We're going to get this somewhere down the line, and I'm looking forward to
That tweet that Daniel Bryan put out last night is like, I can't wait to punch his face. That was so perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that probably would like to punch Miz in the face. But this is perfect, especially because he ripped off so many things that Daniel Bryan was doing offensively and making fun of him. Now, you know what? Be careful what you do because things come around and now he's cleared and you're in big trouble.
And it's not just the Miz moving, it's the Miztourage staying. They don't have to be the Miztourage anymore. They can be their own guys. Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel, who are excellent performers in their own right, can finally break away and become their own thing.
Especially now that the tag team division on Raw after last night has grown.
Very much grown.
Yes.
Anthony, your win, you're happy to see some new faces on Raw.
Yeah, for me, like on a personal thing, I can't watch SmackDown. It just doesn't match up my schedule. But so many of my friends are on SmackDown, and now they're coming to Raw, and I get to see so many guys that I couldn't see before. Bobby Roode, Jinder Mahal, Breezango. I mean, the list goes. Almost everyone that came over. I want to see Sami Zayn. I want to see Kevin Owens. So many guys that have come over that I get to watch now. So I'm really, that's my win.
I love it. So many guys. My win is that Dolph Ziggler came over, who I love Dolph Ziggler, and it's been a while since he's made any kind of an impact. And then he makes the biggest impact by bringing former NXT champion Drew McIntyre with him. And they're very much this duo like Shawn and Diesel used to be back in the day. I love that the mouth has an enforcer. I really like this. And Drew is so good. I like this pairing a lot.
I do too. But here's the thing: you draw a lot of comparisons to the old duo of HBK and Big Daddy Cool Diesel. This is going to be different because you can compare easily Dolph Ziggler to HBK, especially with their in-ring ability and their talents. Drew McIntyre has the ability to be much, much better than no offense, Big Kev, but Kevin, he's more athletic.
A huge upside for Drew.
Big
He's
upside
Scottish
for Drew
too.
McIntyre.
Hey, I thought actually that I don't think McIntyre needs Dolph. I think he can come and be heavyweight champion contender like right now.
And everyone thought that. Like, we heard the universe chanting, "This is awesome."
Yes.
Blew up on Twitter. Everyone's excited to see that matchup. But guys, let's go into our fails from last week and, of course, this week, what we expect to see. Nug, your fail is that
It's from the shakeup. We had 19 guys and girls came over to Raw last night, but we only saw a handful of them on television. A bunch of it happened on social media. Did you know Zack Ryder moved over? Did you know the Ascension moved over? Did you know they broke up Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable? No, because it happened on Twitter or Instagram, and nobody knows this stuff.
Right.
It's every wrestler, every superstar is somebody's favorite. And to have that happen off television, only on Twitter or only on Instagram, it's kind of a slap in the face to the fans and to the superstars themselves. Everybody should get, if not a segment, at least a little video package like Baron Corbin. You have to learn why these guys are important to make them a big deal, to give them a chance on the new roster.
Or at least just present the name, like even in a scroll on your television set so you can see it. I agree with that. My bigger problem is with the amount of people that went over
19.
because it almost feels like SmackDown got gutted. And yes, the core is there. The main superstars are there, like the AJ Styles and the Daniel Bryans and so on. But every roster, whether it's Raw or SmackDown or even NXT, the backbone really is the mid-card.
Yes.
And if you delete that mid-card, then you're kind of like hamstringing yourself.
And that's funny you mentioned that, Jimmy, because Anthony, that's your fail for this week.
Yeah, it's almost like they just switched shows. Okay, this is the thing. It kind of ties in with what you're saying. There are so many superstars these days that, you know, as these guys are coming over, I'm like, who's left? But there's a lot of guys left. There's so many I can't remember them all at the one time. But especially on Raw, with 3 hours of television, you can't give a guy 32 seconds to say, hey, I'm over here.
Right.
But at the same time, I know they also want to incorporate social media and the interactiveness with the programming so that it is multi-platform programming and stuff like that. So I can see why they did that, but it's a bit of a slap in the face, especially if you're the guy.
I mean, it's definitely strategic on the WWE's part, but how do you decide who's going to get the social media push and who's going to get the TV push, right?
It's hard to choose, but if you're going to break up a team like Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable have been a team for a while, if you're going to break them up, that's news.
That is news.
So why would you just do it on Twitter?
Yeah, there's no mistake about it that if you're the guy that got, you know, your notification was on social media, it's like, all right.
Yeah, cool. I feel great about
it. TV,
Thanks. Jimmy, your fail has to deal with Authors of Pain.
Yeah, I liked the Authors of Pain, and last week they kind of ditched Paul Ellering, which I was okay with because I thought this would be a good opportunity for them to branch out on their own, not needing a mouthpiece or a manager to speak for them. After watching them this week, there's something missing. And I figured it out. It's Paul Ellering. So I just wish that they would have kept Paul Ellering.
Bring back managers. Bring back managers. Like Paul Heyman's good for Brock, but we need managers.
Yes.
Yeah. Managers, especially older managers and older GMs, not like some of the kids that are putting up, like for example, Paige. Excellent. She's really young.
Yeah.
She's really young. How could she have any, what do you call it? Experience making big decisions and stuff like that. I thought they did very well. They definitely look like they belong up here in the major leagues, and their presence was awesome. Perhaps something was missing a little bit, but I know a good manager.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a manager.
Oh, cool. That's
All right, my fail. I know you guys are going to laugh at me for this, but it is the John Cena Nikki Bella breakup, which just happened yesterday. 6-year relationship, no longer happening. They're supposed to get married in a few weeks. It's called off. Beyond, I'm invested in this. I love. I love when people are happy and together. And you too, Anthony. But for me, my question for you guys is like, how hard is it to, be John Cena and Nikki Bella, both very successful superstars, and have their life dedicated to their career and try and make it work personally?
Oh, that's the hardest part.
Right.
It's hard enough when one person is in the industry and someone is not. When you're both in the industry and you both have so much on your plate. John Cena does everything.
Mm-hmm.
The guy never takes a day off. Nikki Bella is very busy with her brand, with her sister and stuff like that.
Okay.
It's just too much going on at once. If they were both kind of away from it and settled down, maybe it'd be easier.
Yeah, it's also the realization that if you're waiting for time to make itself present itself,
Right.
it's not going to happen. You have to make the time.
Well-
Plus, also there's pre-wedding jitters. You never know.
Never know. Well, we wish both of them, the very best. And when we're back, we'll talk more about the Superstar shakeup.
Let's talk more about Nikki and John.
I know.
Win Fail. Brought to you by Mattel. Relive the adrenaline-pumping action and amazing battle moves with WWE action figures.
The Superstar shakeup continues, and who can we see go from Raw to SmackDown?
Maybe I'd like to see Finn Balor go over.
I'd like to see the whole club go over because you can imagine Finn Balor and Gallows and Anderson
Yep.
and AJ and Shinsuke all on the same show. I think that would be amazing.
Wouldn't it kind of perfectly fits in to cater to that hardcore audience that is so into their history in Japan. It kind of like fits with them. So it also differentiates the two brands a little bit. too.
Do you think we'll see Andrade Almas?
Oh, that wouldn't be bad.
I wouldn't mind seeing a real shakeup, and that for me would be William Regal showing up from NXT going, why do you guys get everything? I want some guys.
Ooh.
And him grabbing a couple guys. I would love to see William Regal show up and grab Randy Orton and take him down to NXT. Randy Orton could be a real spectacle in NXT because he's been there, he's done it all. He can be mad about being there, and he can take on everybody and really get some polish on the young guys in NXT.
See, that's interesting. I mean, it would probably be perceived as a demotion, but I think that it could have some value for sure. I think the Braun and Brock and Roman trilogy back and forth can be divided up a little bit
I'd
now.
love to see Braun over on the blue brand. I'd love it.
Yeah, I mean, whoever. It seems like Roman. I don't know. I felt bad for him yesterday.
Me too.
When he was
Me
cutting his
too.
promo in the ring, it was kind of like enough's enough. Like the guy's not. You're just booing because you're told to boo.
But I mean, what else can he do? I mean, if he were to have won, it would have been booed. He didn't win. He's still getting booed. And
if he gets brought to SmackDown, he'll be booed there for no reason.
I feel for him too.
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead, Jimmy.
like I said, this whole Roman Reigns thing is just a bunch of sheeple who dug in their heels. It was a small group who decided, we don't like this guy, so we're going to be very vocal, and it caught on, and now it's the cool kid thing to do.
Yeah.
It's not cool.
Which superstar, if your predictions are correct, do you think would do the most with their opportunity now in the blue brand? With the shakeup?
I think Braun has beaten everybody on Raw
You wouldn't want to see Braun and Jinder on Raw?
I would want to see Braun and Jinder on Raw, but I really want to see Jinder and Seth Rollins have a little battle. They battled for the very first NXT championship, so I'd love to see
Now
it.
that you mentioned Seth Rollins, that'd be interesting because now that the U.S. title is over on the Raw brand, thanks to Jeff Hardy beating Jinder Mahal last night, there is a secondary title that is lacking on SmackDown. Does Seth Rollins go over with the Intercontinental Championship?
Or does Jeff Hardy come back to SmackDown with the U.S. title? Because Jeff Hardy against any of those guys like Daniel Bryan or AJ Styles or Shinsuke Nakamura would be an amazing match.
Exactly.
There's so many choices. My head's already.
Brother Nero on
Nero
yeah,
on
you never know.
Guys, WWE announced that there will be their second annual UK Championship coming up in June. People like Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne. What do we have to look forward to?
The last UK tournament that Tyler Bate won and eventually and had Pete Dunne in the final, he's the champ now. That tournament was awesome because it was really based on wrestling. There was very little showmanship. People had little like Tyler Bate waved, but like they just came into the ring and grappled, and it was like that old World of Sport kind of grappling.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to the tournament because we'll probably see some familiar faces, but some new guys as well.
Yes.
Mark Andrews was in that tournament, and he's on 205 Live. I don't
Right.
see why he can't be in it.
Especially now that the UK scene, especially on the independent level, is flourishing right now.
Yes.
And that's why the WWE is so invested in the UK right now. There are some talents in the UK that I'd really like to see. There's one guy in particular, Joe Hendry.
Whoa, Joe's very
He is
good.
awesome. If he's in this tournament, watch out for him.
Yeah, the thing I like is the trickle-down effect that this style of wrestling is having in the independent scene all over the world. People are grappling more. I have nothing against lucha. I just don't want it for lunch. You know what I mean? And this style to me is awesome. They're coming to the ring. They're staring at their opponents like they're coming for business. And the more spotlight on this, the better, because wrestling is better for it.
Yeah, and you can also add a little bit of the entertainment value. You look at a guy like Pete Dunne.
Love Pete Dunne. Yes.
Yeah.
He was one of my favorite people to see at the NXT takeover at WrestleMania. I thought he was incredible and super, like you said, high value entertainment.
Yes.
If you guys want to watch the UK Championship, you can find it on the WWE Network. If you haven't already subscribed, just contact your local service provider and they can give you details on that. Don't go anywhere because you're going to want to see who's coming up next.
I might go to England and watch it.
Get it on 3?
Okay. Yep.
1, 2, 3.
Canada!
One of the most entertaining groups in WWE is tag team The New Day, and here's something you may not know about them. Tell them something that they may not know about The New Day.
Let's see. Something you don't know about the New Day.
Someone's getting their PhD. I do know that.
Well, that's the thing that people do know.
I don't know. I think that's very... Okay, so maybe they might know that you're getting a PhD, but how hard is it to get that degree while doing all of this?
Okay.
And you guys could speak to that too.
So this is a very long story. I'm gonna
Condense it.
yes. So it's not going right now. And that's what I'm saying about that. I went through a very long spiraling depression. This is something you might not know about your boy. For 3 months, every time I got home, the time when I would have been working on school, when I stopped working on school because of a very long, arduous process that was very mentally taxing. Long depression for your boy. Very painful. So there was a lawsuit against the school. The school's law team is very good, so nothing happened. A bunch of us students were just left out in the cold, and then not being able to get the PhD. But then I'm with my friends now, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
This is what happens whenever anyone asks about school. So I'm sorry, but this is what life is.
Yeah.
This is real life. We have emotions.
We do.
A range of emotions.
Yeah.
We have friends, family, we have homes, and sometimes you just ride the wave. But then when you have your peoples with you, you have your peoples.
Come here. All right, let's move on. Here's something you don't know about me. I was actually a teaching assistant at the University of Iowa. I was in grad school briefly before I got signed. I did not finish, but I got my BA. And I was actually at one point, I was teaching college students and grading papers right before I got signed at the age of 23. That's what I did.
That's amazing. Did you like to shape the minds of young students?
I did a lot of that. I said, give me your mind. That's a good mind. I was, well, let me,
Yeah.
No, let me not.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Let me not cross the line.
Follow this
No.
path.
Don't do that. Let me get out of this hole I put myself in.
No.
No, I would find a mind, and I would say that's a great mind. Go on your way.
What else can we expect from the New Day? We've seen crazy dance moves, unicorn heads. What else?
Well, the thing about us is that we don't know. Like, there's no plan. You know, it's just kind of like what's funny to us at the time, and we just kind of go with it. So, I guess expect the unexpected.
Yes.
Love that.
We're expected. We're a rudderless ship, no direction, no real aim in life.
No. Yeah.
We just wherever the ocean takes us, that's where we're going.
Current.
We don't have any goals, any plans. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know.
On some real basic stuff, we're just happy to be here. That's
On Earth, you mean?
yeah,
Right.
walking the planet.
Right.
I'm happy I woke up this morning.
Right, because death is impending.
Yes.
It's coming.
Yes.
All of us.
From the second you're born, you're dying.
Right.
Now that this interview has taken a very dark, twisted turn.
Ma'am? Meaning what?
Right. People need to know.
Yeah.
People need to know. All right. It's
Yeah.
coming for all of us.
What we're saying is, since it is coming, enjoy every second that you have.
Enjoy.
Yes.
Tell people in your life that you love them, that you care about them. Don't waste those precious moments. Don't just sit on the couch and just veg out. Make sure you're with your friends and your family. Make sure that you understand that this life is precious because it's the only one that you got. Unless you believe in reincarnation. I'm coming back as a sea otter because that's my favorite animal and I was good in this life.
That's cool.
I am so motivated. I want to get up and do something.
I
love you guys.
absolutely.
So jealous you got to interview the New Day. Shout out to that Golden Girls shirt that Xavier
Oh
was
my
wearing.
God, I absolutely love them. They're entertaining in the ring, outside of the ring, just truly hilarious individuals. is there anyone in WWE, past or present, who is more entertaining than the New Day, or as entertaining? We could even start out there.
You can make arguments for different superstars. They're entertaining in a different way than a lot. What I like most about them is when you hear other superstars say you have to take chances, you have to think outside the box. They did,
right.
And look where they are right now. Take chances, guys. Come on.
Yeah, it's funny because there's different forms of entertaining. Theirs is that silliness, but at the same time, they get it done in the ring. So you can be as silly as you want to be as long as it's not affecting your in-ring performance, and they still have the ability to get in there and tear the house down.
Not only do they say take chances, go out there and take a chance, take your shot, they also say be yourself. And I don't know 3 superstars that are more themselves than the New Day.
100%, Nug. I love that you said that, and I think that's why they're so good, is that they're themselves all the time, and it's not. It doesn't feel like, at least when I talk to them, that it's a job for them to be there. They're happy to talk to us. They're happy to like get their personality out there and be in that ring, even outside of it, and I love that about them.
Yeah.
But moving on, we have to go to Ask Aftermath because we want to take questions from you lovely fans, and the first one is, if we had a women's tag team championship, what 2 women or group of women would you like to see together competing in it?
Ooh, obviously the new duo of the iconic duo.
Yeah,
would
and
come
that's
right
what
to
the
mind.
iconic-
And that's
come to
what the
mind.
Ask Aftermath fan who asked the question said that he would, or he or she would say.
I would like it to develop over time. I'd like to see the ladies form teams, meaningful teams, and get together and actually form a division before they start talking about actual
Like, not
titles.
just 2 individuals put together
Right.
that actually have, because there's a whole different style of wrestling to do
Right.
tag team wrestling. Some of the factions that came up, the Riot Squad,
Yeah.
and the one
Absolution.
But I think Nia Jax and anybody who's going to be a good team.
Becky and Charlotte.
That's what I was
Becky
thinking.
and Charlotte.
4
Yeah.
original horsewomen, and they're all friends outside of the ring. We know Sasha and Bayley, Charlotte and Becky, Nia and
Ronda
Alexa.
and Ronda
You know what I
Rousey,
mean?
Nia and
So
Ronda.
if they can be such good
Tamina?
friends outside of the ring, let's put them inside the ring too.
Absolutely.
I say
Join
bring back the
forces.
Jumping Bomb Angels.
Ooh, I'm in. I
All
like
right.
them.
Yeah,
all right.
Ronda,
Everybody
you
just
can-
went, who? Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys, for watching. We'll see you next week, and it'll be Rusev Day and Hat Day again. Maybe. You never know. Stay tuned.
That it will be. Try judo.